Hello, welcome to Recapping with Delora
and Ashley.
Please follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at ReCapping Podcast.
Also, comment, rate, and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. We're on all the things.
We would love to hear your ratings of the movies and shows we review.
Email us your audio file to recappingpodcast@gmail.com and we will play it during the show.
Or DM us on Instagram and we will post and read it on air.
Thank you guys so much for listening.
Thank you.
Hello, my friend. How are you, Delora?
Doing all right. How are you, Ashley?
Girl, I'm all right. I told you I have been taking braids down for 6 or 7 hours already today, and we're not done just yet. So the black hair struggle or joy, however you want to look at it, because I also love the versatility of all these styles that we get to do. But the taking down is a pain in the ass. I'm not going to lie.
Like I told you, for many, many years, I used to do twists with the takedown solely in mind. Mm-hmm. So much faster.
And this is the first time that I did knotless. And not only is this my first time doing knotless braids, I also did smaller braids than I typically do. Because even when I do braids, I usually do
the medium
or larger.
Not quite Janet Jackson in Poetic Justice.
No, not the jumbo. Not the jumbo, but definitely a mid-range braid, right? And so I already knew this is going to take me a while, but y'all know how it is. You can gear yourself up, you can jack yourself up, and then when you hit that chair, or, I kind of roam my house while I'm doing it just because I get, a little stir crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It's real. I feel like my eyes are glossed over. Really, that's how I feel right now. Glazed over.
That's so funny. You know what they say? Beauty knows no pain and apparently no time limit.
Exactly. But I will not complain. Thank you, Jesus, for the ability to even have hair to braid. And
you got hair, girl. You got hair.
A bomb hairdresser and all the things. Yeah, so I try not to complain too loud. I appreciate you. Okay.
Like I said, you could just cut it all off, during the club.
Where everybody don't have your face, sis, that we can rock the short cuts,
God bless you. But yeah, we shaved it all the way off this side. Second time, just not as low. I realized that I didn't like the back of my head the first time around, so we kept a little bit of hair.
The things you discover. That reminds me of like when Tiffany Haddish first cut off her hair. She's like, I cut off my hair because I wanted to see all the moles on my body, and I knew I had moles in my head. It's like I could not tell y'all what my head looked like. Okay, I have no idea, none, and I don't hopefully plan on finding out. All right, as usual. Happy Thursday when you guys are listening to this, or Friday Eve. It is our headlines and hot topics episode. If you have not listened to our last recap on Euphoria, please go back and check it out, as well as all of our previous episodes. We've been having some fun chatting about some good content. So please go back and take a listen. But we'll get into what's been going on in the past, week, I guess I should say. And first up, Delora, in our quick headlines is The Real. It had been heavily rumored for a while that this show was really on the chopping block and probably not going to make it. But it was confirmed on Friday that the show has been canceled after 8 seasons. Lonnie Love posted on social about the news and said, in the end, the Real cast and crew did everything we could to scale the show down. We shot 7 to 8 shows in 3 days, no audience, made a conference room into a studio. But in my opinion, COVID cost killed this show. It's been a great ride, and thanks to the viewers for 8 great seasons. The show had like multiple iterations. We saw hosts kind of come and go. We had the original OGs that included, Tamara and Lonnie, and Tamar was in the original cast, and then kind of had some comings and goings, including our girl Amanda Seals was on there for a brief 5-month stint. But, I enjoyed, I of course cannot forget about Jeannie. I cannot say that I've been an avid watcher of The Real, but I'm still sad to hear this news, just because I feel like I enjoyed seeing this group of diverse women have this platform and have this opportunity to get on and talk about topics from their perspective. And I'm pretty sure I posted Adrienne a couple of times on social from like things that she said that are just so quotable to my IG stories. So, you know, there's been some love that I've given to the show, but how'd you feel when you heard this news that the show is getting canceled?
Yeah, I was saddened, but I wasn't surprised. I know that something was up when I couldn't find the show where I live. I live in Ohio, and I know we're both very much daytime TV watchers, i.e. obsessed with The View. When I couldn't find them and I was only able to watch clips on YouTube, and I saw that they went from a big audience situation to just that conference room Lonnie was referring to, I kind of felt it. I kind of felt it on life support, honestly. I thought it was positive that they added Garcelle to the mix. I thought, still having that diversity in terms of culture or race, as well as age, right? Bringing that to the table, I thought that was promising. They had that big interview with, unfortunately, the victim of Nicki Minaj's husband. And I was like, okay, so they're still working, because this is an Emmy-winning show. So I was rooting for them, but to hear this, it's sad, but not surprising. And I really do enjoy Lonnie and Adrienne. I enjoy all of them, but I particularly love Lonnie because she's been guest hosting on Daily Pop on E, and her and Justin's dynamic are like amazing.
Yeah.
I'll probably follow all the women, honestly, because they were really good at what they did. Adrienne, I love her YouTube channel, as well as Jeannie Mai. But who knows with Jeannie Mai, she's living that wifey new mama life. So who knows what she'll do next. But I'm sorry to see it go. And, maybe this will be a part of what Whoopi used to always say. She's like, there's all these shows that try to be like us, but they're not us. And I'm like, ouch.
Yeah.
5 years in.
I was trying to think of something to say about that, but there's really not much to say. I mean, the longevity of that show is rare, but they also had such powerhouses behind it. I mean, Barbara Walters, starting it in the first place was a big thing. And I think they also, they're not just chatting about pop culture or, they're getting hard into politics. There's so much respect that people have who come onto that show.
Yes.
And you want to use that as their platform to talk about very important issus. So
absolutely.
The View definitely stands alone in terms of kind of daytime talk, in my opinion, in that way. But again, I just loved the ability for these ladies to have this platform. So I'm sure they'll all go on to do their own thing and continue to be successful. But it is sad to see it go. But to pivot over to another change in television, speaking of Jeannie Mai, maybe she'll make a return to Dancing with the Stars, because as we know, as avid DWTS watchers, her run got cut short during her season. But it was also announced last week that Dancing with the Stars is moving to Disney Plus when it returns. It's been renewed for 2 more seasons, but yes, it is moving to Disney Plus. With this move to Disney Plus, it becomes the first live series to debut on the service. So it is history making. I know Carrie Ann Inaba put out a statement that was pretty positive, as well as Derek Huffdiet, who are obviously judges. But fans are not quite as excited about this because obviously folks who are used to being able to watch it on network means even if you just had rabbit ears, you were able to pick it up for free, versus this is obviously going to create a paywall for folks if they want to get their Dancing with the Stars. So what did you think about this move, Delora, when you heard about it?
I thought it was interesting. Again, Dancing with the Stars took a 2-year hiatus. Like, it's been on for many seasons. They've had to rework it multiple times, i.e. different judges, different dancing competition within the show, new host. To see them moving to Disney Plus, two things. One, Disney Plus needs more content, which is, you can only lean on nostalgia for so long, right? And they're not Netflix pumping out new projects literally every week.
Indeed.
And then two, I think it's interesting because, again, they're including live content on their app, which is something that Hulu has tried. I don't know how successful it's been, but it's an option, right? Compared to Netflix, who's the big dog on the playground. I don't know what metaphor I'm doing right now. But
I was going to say Hulu also has the unique position of having those agreements with actual networks that provide live content in ways that the Netflixes and those don't, because Netflix is completely a ship in and of itself.
It is because like Amazon Prime and even Apple Plus, they have relationships with, smaller cable networks like Stars or...
Well, I mean, Amazon Prime has multiple offerings of additional channels you can purchase and watch their content.
Apple Plus does
Showtime.
Showtime. Thank you. I was like, there's multiple S's there.
Yeah. HBO was there too until HBO Max got started. I used to subscribe to HBO through Amazon Prime.
Same. So I say all that to say, I do think it might be a bit of a risk just because their demographic skews mature. Okay. And what do we know about our mature demographics? They like their network television and it's accessible to them. Who wants to worry about passwords and paying for apps? So, I don't know if this is a life support move or not, because I think the last season was pretty decent, you know what I mean, in terms of ratings, but we will see. I
can read the statement from ABC/Disney, and that is that after over 30 seasons of the program on ABC, including 2 spinoffs, Dancing with the Stars will move off of ABC this fall in order for the network to showcase several Monday Night Football games, as well as develop and invest in new and future programming. So again, working in TV and working with ABC in particular, I knew that the Monday Night Football deal had happened. I knew about some of these inner workings, but I don't think I was still prepared yet for this inevitable shift. And I say inevitable because, as we all know, consumption across the board has changed so much and it's definitely moved to streaming significantly. So it makes sense to see it. I mean, Disney owns Hulu as well.
Yeah.
So there's still the possibility that we'll see between Disney Plus and Hulu other typical network shows being moved over. But I guess the question then is, what's going to be left for broadcast? What's going to be left that entices people to want to stick around and stay with broadcast versus just strictly going now to streaming? That's something that I'm curious to see how that kind of works itself out. And obviously football is a major draw. Live sports is always going to be a major draw, but that's also going over to streaming. Amazon Prime has a deal that's going to start that has them airing football. So we'll see what happens, Delora, but it is an interesting thing to witness, I guess, is the final thought that I have about it. And again, Carrie Ann and Derek, I'm glad that they're excited. Haven't seen a statement from Tyra yet or anybody else that kind of works more behind the scenes.
But aren't they paid to be excited?
They're absolutely paid to be excited. As long as they have a job, it doesn't really matter what platform the show is on.
Very true. Yes.
So they are definitely paid to be excited. But I mean, I'm sure there could be some sentiment of it if this means that they're going to be able to do things that they have not been able to do. But we'll see, because I think we're both going to check this out when it moves over. For the most part, I know at least I'm planning on still checking this out. So we'll see what happens. Let's move on to our next quick headline. And that is Britney Spears has announced her pregnancy. I mean, people were a little questioning it because she was talking about a food baby at first. It was like, is she pregnant? Is she not pregnant?
But on Monday, Britney post.
Yeah, on Monday on Instagram, and confirmed now by multiple outlets, it seems that Mrs. Spears is indeed preggers. What I basically thought immediately after was she did not waste time. She was serious during her conservatorship hearing back in the 2021 when she was saying, listen, I want this IUD out. I want to get married. I want to have a baby.
Yep.
And the conservatorship ended in November. And guess what? It is April. And she said, let's go. Okay. So what were your thoughts when you heard the news, Delora?
I also was confused. For the most part, I figured she was pregnant. However, I just hope she's not telling us really early. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? But I'm happy for her. I mean, she's 40 and she's a woman who knows what she wants out of her life after not having control for so many years. She's now very much in the driver's seat. And I didn't know she was officially married to her boo, but it doesn't surprise me that they are.
I didn't realize that either. Well,
she's referring to him as husband. So I don't know if I do know about the engagement.
Yeah.
But, so I'm happy for her. That baby will be adorable, I'm sure. So congratulations, Britney. # free Britney. Live your life.
Absolutely. Congratulations. Again, she said, I was dead serious. I'm not wasting any time. I am taking control of myself, of my body. And then her, whether fiance or husband, released his statement and seemed super excited about it as well. So wishing her a healthy, happy pregnancy and baby. All right, our next quick headline, rest in peace to Gilbert Gottfried. His family announced on Tuesday that the comic passed away at the age of 67 after a long illness. What I most remember him for, I mean, he has such a memorable voice, but definitely for me, it was Aladdin. It was Problem Child, coming up as a 90s kid. I know he did the Aflac commercials, all those things. But I was watching The View today, and it was interesting to hear Joy's take on him and coming as a fellow comic, just saying, he was someone who it was never too soon to make a joke about something. He was never really afraid of pushing the envelope, but he, was such a great person and all these different things. So I also saw some tributes from some other comics as well. So, obviously it's another comic that we've lost this year, which is, definitely sad to hear. Not sure again what besides saying a long illness, the cause of death is, but wishing the best to his family and friends and his loved ones. Did you have any thoughts when you heard?
It's just been a lot of death in the comic community. I mean, he just posted about Bob Saget and Louis Anderson. I was just thinking about those two because he posted a picture of the three of them, right? And so it's heartbreaking. 67. This is just really sad to hear.
For sure. I saw CNN basically kind of gave a rundown that his last public posting was about the slap. So obviously he was up on the latest news.
He was. And he was up on the latest technology. He was making most of his money, unfortunately, in his last days doing cameos. And the gentleman who interviewed him said that he charged like $125 and he did like 8,000. And so that's not chump change. That's all I'll say to that.
Not at all. And I saw he had a podcast too, which I wasn't aware of. So I have to go back and check out a few of his episodes. But again, rest in peace. He definitely was a part of my childhood. And it's always a little bit harder to lose the folks and to see the folks who you grew up seeing and watching in entertainment kind of pass away. But rest in peace. And again, wishing the best to his loved ones. All right, Delora, our final quick headline today is one of our favorite entertainers, Rihanna, gracing the cover, her 7th cover, by the way, of Vogue, beautifully celebrating her pregnancy with all the looks. Did you get a chance to read the article, and which of her photos was your favorite?
Riri. is just fire. Okay. Like I just cannot. I did not read the article, but I did read excerpts from it about her relationship with ASAP and her embracing her pregnancy and enjoying it and all that. And I love that she is making pregnancy look like that thing to do, because that is not everyone's story. And so she makes it look effortless, and I love that because she's a baddie. My favorite look, I loved all of them. I loved the one when she's in the tub and all you see is that necklace in her belly. I loved when she was wearing that white gown. I love the red jacket with the red skirt with the belly out. I loved all of it. It is Rihanna, okay? Keeping the pressure on all the girls' necks, okay? What about you?
Yeah, not a lie was told. I absolutely loved every single look. I think when we first talked about her pregnancy, we talked about, is this going to impact her sex appeal, sexy and all that? And I knew it wouldn't, because Rihanna is freaking Rihanna. Whether she's pregnant or not, she going to have the most stylish little baby on her hip once this baby is born. And that was one of the funniest things about her interview when I read it earlier, was her talking to the journalist, and the journalist saying, what if your child doesn't like fashion? And she was like, oh my God, why would you say that? You're scaring me. I would have such a problem if my baby doesn't like fashion.
You got mama and dada in fashion. So if this baby can catch a hint, it'll be sad.
There's just no way. Like I cannot. That would be unfathomable. That'd be like Blue Ivy not liking music as the child of Jay-Z and Beyonce. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But also I enjoyed the glimpses she gave about her relationship, like you said, with A$AP Rocky, like how they kind of went from the friends to a relationship thing. Because we saw and we knew that they had been friends for so long. Yes. She was saying, listen, it was not easy to get out of that friend zone with me. Okay. And how her mother is a big evaluator of people's character. And I think her approval meant so much to Rihanna in terms of, you know, realizing that he was a good egg, I guess is the best way to say it.
Okay.
But I mean, I'm so happy for Rihanna. Like Rihanna has a special place in my heart of a lot of the artists. We are the exact same age. I root for her in every way. So my favorite looks were that black sheer dress that totally covered her from head to toe. Like it was like a piece of art.
Yes.
And then that white puffer coat, when you see the backdrop of Paris, like that was just it was everything. Every look was beautiful, but those two stood out. Yeah, those two stood out for me. But I mean, that's the thing, right? Is with these, it's like I could put these as artwork up on my walls if I wanted to. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I'm a big
gorgeous
cover person. Like I have Kamala's Vogue cover. I have Meghan Markle's. She doesn't Vogue, but you know, Beyonce's Vogue cover when she had the flower moment on top of her head. Like I just love stuff like that.
Yeah, it was gorgeous. But I guess I should clarify. I'm not going to have any pictures of near naked women on my walls unless it's me. I'm going to be honest with you guys. And I've seriously considered that.
I never doubted that.
All right. Let's move on to our two hot topics. First one, got to get your take because I think you are possibly the biggest Bennifer fan that I know, actually. They are now engaged. Case, surprise, surprise. I don't think anybody did not see this coming who was aware that they had rekindled this flame, right? Give me your thoughts about this second engagement. Or, you know, have you talked to your mother, aka the crystal ball, to see if they're going to make it down the aisle? And what do you think of this beautiful emerald ring?
It's not an emerald. It's a green diamond.
My bad. What do you think of this green diamond engagement ring?
First of all, am I a huge Bennifer fan? So here's the deal. I really enjoyed them in the 2000s because the hype was there. As you know, being teens in the early 2000s, and, you know, paparazzi and pop culture was at a fever pitch at that time. So I drank all the Kool-Aid. I was very happy for them. And as I mentioned previously, my mom was like, they're not going to make it. And so to see them this time around, I actually had more excitement when they made their first red carpet debut in the rekindling than I did this engagement, because I did go back and forth thinking, are they going to get engaged or are they not? You know, considering, you know, they've lived life since the last time they were together. And
a lot of life. Yeah.
Because it could have gone either way. But people were like, J-Lo is a hopeless romantic. She wants that ring, like, period. Right. So whoever's with her.
That E could even make a list and display all of her rings from her marriages and engagements is wild. She's almost like the Elizabeth Taylor of modern day.
Yeah. And Elizabeth Taylor married someone twice. Granted,
Richard Burton.
Yes, ma'am. So was I surprised by their engagement? I was not. That was the moral of that story. Am I in love with the green diamond? I am not. Not to say that it needed to be pink again or anything like that, but apparently green diamonds are extremely rare and extremely expensive, which is in J-Lo's wheelhouse. And did you hear about how they got engaged?
He proposed while she was taking a bubble bath.
A bubble bath. Yes, ma'am. And so, you know, I'm really happy for them. I'm also happy for them because they're not really in our face this time around, because I'm sure they're learning all the lessons of the past. And I wish them nothing but, you know, good luck. I'm not going to lie, though. I just think about all the people they have been with since and how they feel. Like Jennifer Garner has since come out and said that she's happy for them because she's a classy lady. You know what I mean? But I just hope she's sleeping well at night. That's all I'm saying. Like,
you know, what's interesting is I peg Jen Garner as someone who has probably resolved this situation within herself. Like, I think that whatever their marital issues were, whether it was just the drinking and gambling and all those things we kind of heard about, I think that at this point, I think Jen's good. Like, I really do.
Like, his vices are now yours.
Yeah. Like, he was not the one for me. He's still the father of my children, and I'm always going to respect that. But he was not my forever person. And I think, you know, that's the type of person she strikes me as anyway.
I can see that.
If I could get Jen on the phone, and she allowed me to discuss our conversation, I'd let y'all know. Maybe someday Delora and I will have that type of intel.
Oh, yes. What about you?
How do I feel? I'm kind of over it, I guess is the best way to say it. Like, when this news dropped, I was like, I really don't care. Like, I think that's great for them, but I think it's their age and maturity too. It's like, this is not something that's like, oh, that's so cute. Like, we are seasoned, we are mature. J-Lo's in her 50s. Ben is almost in his 50s. Like, I hope that this is it for y'all, and y'all really do get to go ride out in the sunset together.
Absolutely.
But it no longer feels like my business, I guess is the best way to say it. Like, in the realm of pop culture. It no longer feels like it matters to me.
I think they know that, though, if you think about it, because
she released
it. Yeah. She released it on like some type of give me your email address type of thing. And I was not going to sign up for it.
It's like her newsletter or whatever and which I didn't even know was a thing until this announcement on the J-Lo or something like that is called.
Yes.
But Delora, no, I'm not saying that they're making it a thing. I'm saying, you know, obviously in pop culture and the media, they are both celebrities. They're big celebrities. So people are going to talk about it.
20 years ago, right?
People are going to talk about it. It is what it is. But I guess I'm just saying in terms of like, you know, celebrity relationship, it's probably a product of our age too, right? Like we're not that age anymore where it's like, oh my God, we got to hop on the phone and talk about, no, that's cute. That's good for y'all. I'm over here trying to live my life. So like, maybe this is a good sign for, you know, hopeless romantics to think, oh, you know, if you, what's that saying? If you let something go and it comes back, that's how you know type of thing.
Yep.
Like, good for y'all, but I guess I'm just not invested in it. That's one thing. Now, do I like her ring? It was fine. I thought the ring that A-Rod gave her was immaculate. So it's kind of hard to follow up with that.
I do colored diamonds though.
But see, I don't mind that. I like that. It seems like Ben goes unique. Like he did the pink first. Now he's doing the green. What are we going to do next if the third time's the charm of black? We're going to carry Bradshaw with the black diamond. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't know. But I like that he's a little more thoughtful and unique about it. I mean, hopefully this works out for y'all. I guess that's really the end of it. Hopefully this works out for y'all. I hope y'all make it this time. Peace, love, and happiness.
Do you think they'll try to have children?
No.
I don't think so either.
I think they're good just with a blended family. I think we're just going to Brady Bunch this shit up. Yeah. And there's going to be no more ovulating over here.
Oh, yeah. Her body, she puts too much work in her body. Not to say that that's the only reason why she wouldn't, but what I heard on E recently, though, was that they're going to tell the world after they're married. So they're not going to do the hoopla before. So, but our pop culture or paparazzi isn't like that anymore. You know what I mean? So I don't think there's that frenzy that happened 4 days before they got married, or was supposed to get married so many years ago.
Well, thankfully, I think as much as certain celebrities and people want to say, social media is a tough place because of all the criticism, I think it's also definitely helped for them to control their lives and their narrative.
Yes, absolutely.
And created less of a demand for that vulture atmosphere that the Paps had in those early aughts.
Late 90s, early aughts, because we can't, unfortunately, I'm thinking about Diana.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, best of luck to you crazy kids. Congratulations. All right, Delora, let's move into our second hot topic. Will Smith, the verdict is in. He has been banned from attending Oscar ceremonies for the next 10 years. I'm not going to read the entire statement from the Academy. You guys can find that on these internets. But I have to say, this does not mean that he cannot be still nominated for his work in the future, in these 10 years. But Delora, did this punishment fit this crime?
All right, Ashley. When I was trying to come up with how the Academy was going to respond to the slap, right? In my mind, I figured, 5 years. 5 years felt good to me, And then when he resigned, I wonder if it took some of the steam out of their sails, so to speak, when it came to coming up with a punishment. But 10 seems like an awfully long time. Yes, he can still be nominated and everything, but let's keep it 1,000. He's being blackballed. Who's going to want to work with him on Oscar bait movies? I find it interesting that they are using this. I feel like they're using this punishment to communicate to social media. They didn't want to come off too lenient, but they were just concerned about the court of public opinion. And because of that, it just seems aggressive. One other point that really grinds my gears is if and when he ever returns, they're going to make a big ass deal about it. So in some ways, they're capitalizing off of this attention. They have not gotten this type of attention in a very, very long time. I know it's negative, not seems, but it is negative. But I just wonder if he's going to let Hollywood use him in that way.
When this decision came down at the end of last week, I was outraged because there have been so many egregious things. And we've talked about this a little bit in terms of the whole outrage and all of that. There have been so many egregious things that previous Academy Award winners have done. And just because this happened on air and this happened on their stage, you're going to ban this man for a decade. You know what would feel punished, like a fair punishment to me? 2 years. I would have given him 2 years.
Yeah. And
it's so funny that you say that,
because I was thinking 5 was harsh. I was like, that's the harshest they could go. But they went the extra mile.
And I understand that there is pressure, probably both from the public and privately from those within the entertainment industry, to have wanted there to be repercussions for this. Because again, so many people were traumatized, in quotes. But Delora, this was outrageous. It was egregious, in my opinion. And I hate to say it, but in my opinion, F the Academy. Like that was my thought when I read this.
I was gonna ask you, okay, are we gonna boycott for 10 years? Is that
I don't know if I'm gonna boycott for 10 years, but I know that this has not helped my feelings and my sentiments that I was already feeling about the way that their activities and their events were already going.
Yeah.
If you recall, and if those of our lovely listeners who listen on a regular basis recall, I had already said that if he didn't win, I wasn't going to watch the Oscars, right? So now
yes,
you're taking something that I know and I said and he said was wrong, and you're making it such a show of this one incident that you're going to ban someone of Will Smith's caliber for 10 years.
My favorite sentiment on Black Twitter is the people who stormed the Capitol didn't get 10 years.
Some of them have never seen a day
in jail
or any form of punishment.
I think the most I've seen was like 2 to 3 years.
I mean, it's hard to not take it personally. Like, I guess is a part of it too, is like, as a Black person, as somebody who pays so close attention to Hollywood and the way things work and the way things go, it's hard not to take it personal that y'all are making such a spectacle of this. Again, he said he was wrong. He said, even after this came out, I accept and respect the Academy's decision.
Yep. Because he's a decent human being. You cannot throw 30 years of goodwill out the window.
This
like
one
that.
Incident does not define this man.
No, it does not.
'Twas a slap.
I'm laughing because our girl Hannah, she put in her Twitter, she was like, it was just a gentleman's slap, like back in the day with the gloves. It was like slap, slap. Oh my goodness. It's the double standard of it all for sure. Like actual predators. It took them years.
Rapists.
Expelled from the Academy.
All sorts of crazy characters have won these awards and continue to be Oscar winning what have yous, and will continue to be, because there's that whole conversation of, can you separate the art from the artist and all these things. And I didn't even like hearing that in the Will Smith discussion, because I'm like, y'all, this is not as egregious,
Ashley,
as Harvey Weinstein.
The fact that people were putting Will Smith's name up against Cosby and OJ, I was like, do we hear what we're saying here?
Exactly. Like, Delora, 'twas a slap. Okay? 'Twas a slap. I can't say it any differently. The people who are really upset are going to continue to be really upset for whatever reasons that y'all have. But I'm going to tell y'all what. In my opinion, this was completely outrageous. And I hope that, to your point, this does not blackball Will. I hope that Black entertainers, I know there's the people are still going to be upset, especially Chris Rock's family and friends, what have you. But I hope that Black entertainers still stand behind him and support him, and do not allow this to bring him down.
I mean, that's what we did for Janet. She talked about that in her documentary too. Like, when the world turned its back on her, who celebrated her? The Image Awards, BET, Essence.
That's all I got. Yeah, that's all I got. I don't want to beat a dead horse. And I know there are some people who are going to be upset. Go ahead and be upset. I feel how I feel, and I said what I said. Okay.
And that's on period.
Yep. And that's that on that, baby. That's that on that. Okay. That's all I got for y'all. That's all I got for y'all. Okay. Anything else on any of these topics before we roll out for the day and talk about what our next recap is?
Nope. I think we covered a lot.
We did cover quite a few things going on this week. I'm curious to see what these internets and what life continues to throw at us for our hot topics and headlines segments. We never do know. But Delora, what are we recapping next?
Bridgerton season 2.
It's time.
It is taking everything within me not to burst from with excitement. I'm so excited. You are the bane of my existence and the object of all my desires.
And on that note, guys, we will see you next time.
If you know, you know.